Welcome back. Canadian brides are expected to say I do to an average cost of $30,000 a year. This is what the average wedding will cost, according to a new survey from Wedding Bells magazine. The cost has gone up as well, about 20% since 2008. For more on what brides-to-be need to know before walking down that aisle and paying for it, Alison McGill joins us. She's editor-in-chief of Wedding Bells magazine. Alison, good to see you.
Good to see you.
$30,000. For a lot of us around here, we thought that's a good chunk of money for sure. This is the average when you take the cost of the actual ceremony, all costs associated with what? Hotels, honeymoon cost as well as in this?
Yes, this is an all-encompassing total. So the honeymoon's coming in at around, $5,000. So you're looking at about, $26,000 is the average cost just for the party, for the wedding, for the dress, for all of those things involved.
Wow. And it's going up because why? People are choosing bigger weddings, or it's just inflation, or what?
I think we can probably credit a bit of both for that, but really there is the trend with weddings is that they just continue to grow and get bigger and bigger, and couples are really willing to go to the extra mile and do whatever it takes to make that party super personal and have the dream wedding. So, I mean, weddings today are just, it's an incredible time to be in the industry because they are just getting more inventive and bigger and, more expensive. Now, again, this is just an average cost. I mean, we're seeing people spending way more than this on their wedding day, but this is where we're getting into, it's a really phenomenal thing that's happening in the wedding market.
Should I even ask you way more, Alison? How much have you, how high does this go?
It can go very high. We just did a special edition of Wedding Bells called Wedding Bells Weddings, where we profiled 16 real weddings from across Canada, and they were coming in at all price points. We had one that was an Alice in Wonderland wedding that was fantastic, beautiful. It came in at around $15,000, and we had another wedding that was super luxurious, and it was costing in at around $250,000 plus.
I mean, obviously, we're looking at a breakdown of the costs, and number one is the venue, where you choose to get married, right? Followed by the honeymoon.
Yes, exactly. So the venue, in our statistics where we're giving you that average number of, $31,000, we're talking about $10,000 going to the venue. That's a huge cost. That involves your catering, your spirits and all of that. So that's like the really hard party cost. Yeah. And then, the honeymoon is coming in at around $5,000, but then you break it down into all the other incremental costs. Like the cost of the wedding gown is really rising of what we're seeing people are willing to spend. The past couple of surveys we've done, this is our 8th one. It's really been coming in at just over $1,000. This year we're seeing 1,800 brides are planning to spend. So everything is just going up.
That's a big jump, I would say, almost double, really.
It is, yeah. It's a significant, investment.
Okay, so tell us, for those who want to be cost conscious, where can you save money, or is it so individual that you can't even offer advice that way?
Well, it really is individual, and I think one of my best pieces of advice is for couples planning. You really have to come in and have a list of negotiables and non-negotiables. So you really have to know what are you willing to sacrifice on when it comes to the wedding and what you're not. If a bride has her heart set, on a Vera Wang gown that she's dreamed about, it's $5,000 and up, she's probably not going to be happy with anything else. So maybe you cut the guest list, or you look at a smaller size of a party. Tons of couples are doing DIY. That's a great way to save money, and it makes the party extra personal. So you're making all these little things from favors to decorations. It's incredible what people are doing.
Any other ideas that you can share with us?
For cost saving?
Yeah. Is there one wedding that stands out in your mind where you sort of sat back and went, wow, those people did that incredibly well?
I think it's, you have to have time on your hands, and you have to have the time to research everything, because I think cost saving is all about, you don't want it to look like you cut corners, right?
So, no, you don't.
No, so you need to be really savvy and do research and find out what are the things you can do yourself. Shop around for vendors and retailers that's going to fit within your budget and that's cost conscious, and get creative. You can also get your family involved to help you do lots of things for your wedding. And I think one of the biggest things that you look at, obviously, is the guest list. If you want to cut the cost of the party, you really need to look at who you're inviting and the size of it, because that's going to dictate all the costs out from there.
Yeah, so if you kept it under 100, huge savings right there alone, right?
Yeah, huge savings. And another trend that's been happening that we obviously didn't tap into so much with our survey, but we're seeing a lot more intimate weddings where people are keeping it really small. Yeah. And it's not necessarily, it could be cost related, but it's also just about people wanting to celebrate the day either just with themselves as the couple, or having it super intimate. So just the immediate family. It really gives it a nice personal spin.
Now, Alison, a lot of people have the big wedding because they're expecting the big money, right? To
Yes.
pay off the huge wedding.
Yes, but you never should expect that. You should give a gift because you want to, and etiquette-wise, that is just not cool.
What's the trend there, though? Are people still pretty generous for most weddings? Are people giving more in some cases, or are they skimping because, you know, economically speaking, things have not been that great?
I mean, I don't think, again, there's any one trend. I mean, I think it's like you give a gift that's within reason, that's within your budget. And, you know, as the couple receiving this gift, you have to be mindful of that. I mean, be gracious.
Right. Okay, just finally, for those brides-to-be, what's the wedding trend out there that everyone's dying to get their hands on?
The one wedding trend?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really hard to say. I mean, the rustic and vintage DIY theming for your party has been very big. But one thing, I just came back from Bridal Market in New York City, and when we're talking about fashion, we have seen an incredible explosion of color. And Vera Wang, who of course is the grande dame of
Yes.
fashion, showed red, aubergine, and burgundy on her runway. Now, all of those dresses are available in white, but I can't tell you what an impact this made. And it was incredible. Oscar de la Renta showed a red dress, Ramona Cabeza, lots of bridal designers were showing color. And I would love to see this bold trend translate into some fashion options for brides for 2012 and 13.
We'll have to have you back to talk about that, see what's happening out there.
Excellent, that would be fantastic.
Alison McGill, good of you to join us. She's with Wedding Bells magazine. Thanks, Alison.
Thank you.